to the third episode, and tonight we're going to be doing a Bavarian apple torte. We got this recipe from a friend a couple of years ago, and it's really become a hit at all the family functions, Thanksgiving, Christmas, etc. I'm going to get started, and it's going to be 3 separate workstations. We're going to have the crust, we're going to have the pie filling, and then the apples to go on top. So we'll get started by measuring everything out, throwing it in the Cuisinart, which is the quickest way to make a crust rather than doing it by hand. So we'll get started. Here's a little hint: put a towel down when you're pouring things so that if you make a mess, because some people say that I don't like to clean up, this way the cleanup is a lot easier. I don't know what they're talking about when they say that though. So Cuisinart, be careful because this is very sharp. And then when you squeeze it together, it's going to hold. Take your springform pan, pour it all in. And then you're just going to press it around with a little bit up the side. All right, so that's the crust. And that really took about 5 minutes, more like 3. And then we'll just set that aside. Next is going to be the cream cheese filling. We'll clean up here, throw things away. The cream cheese filling is going to be 8 ounces of cream cheese. We're doubling the recipe, so 16 ounces. I was always good at math. 2 eggs, so it calls for 1 egg, we're doing 2. And then the vanilla and the sugar. And that's what it's going to look like. Now comes the fun part. Peeling the apples and cutting them. You have your apple slicer and core all at once. So these are the size of the apples you get with this core and slicer. So this is too thick, so we're gonna have to cut that in half at least, maybe even in thirds. So we'll take our little paring knife. That's a little too thin. But that's about right. Alright, so now all the apples are cut up. They're about the right size. And now we're going to add a little sugar, about 2/3 of a cup. This can be a little, you don't have to be exact with this. And cinnamon. The cinnamon is always important. You want to be generous also with the cinnamon. So it calls for half a teaspoon, so that's a teaspoon, so we're going to do a tablespoon. Not quite a tablespoon. And then you just mix it all around. We used to have a bigger bowl to do this with, but somebody took it out in the yard and left it out there and ruined it. I don't know who that person was or why they would do that. All right, so now we got all 3 workstations done, and we just have to add it all together. So we'll take our crust. Ooh, that was close. We'll take our filling, cream cheese filling. The cream cheese filling may need a little extra whisking to really smooth it out a little bit. We're just going to pour this in, make sure it's all even and the sides are up a little bit. You want a little bit of an edge of a crust. Just to give you an idea, that's what it's going to look like. See the edge of the crust coming just above the filling. Take the apples and start from the outside and work your way in a nice pinwheel design. And that's it. And now we're going to put it in the oven. It goes in the oven at 450 for 10 minutes, and then we reduce it to 400 and cook it for another 25 minutes or so. And I'll give you a look at it now and then a look when it comes out of the oven.